Has some pretty stars in sight. And also have the little white objects that seem to come from the capsule itself and drift off. And if they are a yaw check, it's fantastic. I suspect that the star I see is Arcturus. Would be very interesting. It is neither. It is one of the white objects. So I have two stars that are staying quite still. The white object actually looked like it came toward me, but it wasn't. You can actually see the particle there going off, as John described it, as a lathe shaving. It's a very good description of it. My rates are now just about 0 in all three axes. I still have light in the periscope, of course. I'm looking straight up, and yet at this point, just to see that my altitude is, I get in the couch here, I really can't pick it too well. Yeah, I'm just about inverted at this point. And that my nose is above the horizon. As a result, I notice that these particles keep tending aft on me, relative to me, at any time. Periscope is blacking out rather rapidly at sunset. It's almost blacked out completely at this point and is really not usable. Getting a real burst of light in the window, and I really don't know what it is. At this point, I should be coming up on a sunset. 5 hours and 15 minutes. Periscope is dark. I must be just getting the last look at the horizon, yet I'm not down on it.
I have some more of the white particles in view below the capsule. They appear to be traveling exactly my speed. There is one drifting off. It's going faster than I am, as a matter of fact.
Roger, understand.
I haven't seen the great numbers of these particles, but I've seen a few of them. Their motion is random. They look exactly like snowflakes to me.
Roger, have you tried return?
Negative. Let me get within scanner limits first.
Say again.
I must adjust my attitude to within scanner limits first.
Roger.
those middle particles. They definitely look like snowflakes this time.
Roger, I understand your particles look like definite snowflakes.
However,
Scott?
Roger.
And I'm beginning to get the brilliant blue of sun rising in the east. Bright blue band underneath all this haze layer. I can see the haze layer and the bright band of light demarcation coming underneath it. It's quite distinctive. There's a faint hint to it. Is where there are clouds, apparently. Roger, Hawaii, phase 7, reading you loud and clear. Roger, Hawaii, phase 7, reading you loud and clear. Roger, understand. Roger, I'm just small end forward, 180 degree yaw, approaching sunrise, over. Roger. These small luminescent particles drift away from you, small end forward. In this light they appear brilliant white without at all in them. They appear to move on out. Curve around back towards the flight path. And here, I don't think.
Roger, you haven't seen the beacon at this time.
Negative, I still haven't seen the beacon.
Sure.
There was considerable noise, though, as if something were departing.
Again, 7.
There was considerable noise of the little doors. Sounded like the little doors blowing open, so I assume the beacon has departed.
Roger, understand. TM looks real good on the ground.
Roger.
Okay, you confirm TV control switch to off.
Roger, TV control is off.
We had a slight decrease in the 2 links on DC current. Would you give us a readout?
Roger, DC current. Roger, main bus is 24. Isolated 28.5.
Roger. Hey, good. Gordo, this is Wally. Did you have anything to eat?
Negative, not yet. I'm planning to shortly here, though.
Right, for your information, systems last computations on fuel at Hawaii gave you 8.8 auto, 9.8 manual, which is somewhat better than you're indicating on board.
Roger, on board I'm indicating 9.6 and 102. Oh boy, what a beautiful shot of Florida.
Roger, looks good from here once in a while too.
Roger. The whole strait is clear. I can see I'm just about off. It's been a beautiful view coming over Florida. Now on 180 yaw, I got here on manual proportional control. I'm at last daylight going into dark. Have been looking for the flashing beacons. 5:05:18 now. 28, I'm sorry, not 18. This light in sight, it is below me. It's quite a brownish, reddish brown, and considerable altitude above the ground. Each time I fire a pitch down thruster, I get a shower of these little fireflies. It is flashing now, it is the light. It's quite bright, quite discernible. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right. Appears to be about 10 to 12 miles away. I'm keeping it directly in the window. At the order of a second magnitude star now. And now at 1 hour at this time, I now have 1 hour and 21 minutes, and I am observing John's fireflies drifting away from me. I can observe them appear to be departing from the spacecraft and drifting out to the rear. I can see some of them a considerable distance out to the rear. Sun is coming up behind me. I'm beginning to get the glow on the clouds. Fireflies appear to be white, very whitish, with almost a green like real fireflies. clouds on the earth below are changing color, are getting quite light. And I am now on the day side. The sun is not yet quite up, and I am observing stars. The earth is light below me. The sun is still behind me. The sky looks dark above me, and I can see stars very distinctly.
Particles or fragments or something that go drifting by as we maneuver.
Roger, understand.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of big ones on my window there. Just bright. Looks like the 4th of July out Ron's window. Yeah, now you can see some of them in shape. They're very jagged, angular fragments that are tumbling.
Roger, they look like fluid of some sort?
Not to me, they look like pieces of something.
Roger.
They're very bright.
Jack, we'd like Omni Charlie.
Bob, for the most part, these fragments are not, are tumbling at a very slow rate. I've tried a couple pictures of them in different settings. You may get an idea of what at least the patterns look like.
Roger, I got you. We're all ears on these fragments. Do you think you can figure out what they might be?
Well, you know, I don't know. There are a number of possibilities. If you had some kind of a... I got the impression maybe they were curved a little bit, as if they might be off the side of the S4B. That's a wild guess.
Okay, RCS logic is...
ice chunks, possibly. Maybe there's paint coming off of it.
Right, I noticed on one trip up the elevator last week, one of the flags, I thought it was in the S2, but it might be on the S4, looked like it was peeling. Maybe that's what you got. And the S4B maneuver is complete.
1 minute. Okay, we'll set the old clock.
Okay, and the with the maneuver complete, the fragment field is essentially static, except for very slight tumbling within the fragments.
Roger, copy that.
Every once in a while, a fragment of considerably higher velocity than the others goes across my window, but that's very rare.
Roger.
Okay, that's that field of view I saw on my window. Jack, you see it now? Yeah. And Bob, at least there's no apparent relative motion between fragments.
I do understand.
I'll take two pictures about a minute apart if I can, and it'll be frame 70.
Okay, frame 70.
And Bob, Gino, my impression is that they are flat flake-like particles, some maybe 6 inches across, and although there's no relative motion between the two, most of them seem to be twinkling, and I think for the most part they're all moving away from us.
Listen, we read this paragraph in here about these, quotes, coronal discharges that you guys were seeing, and that completely stops us. Tell us how this came about, and who talked to you about it, and what you saw.
Somebody reported it on one of the earlier flights that some guy up, I got the letter, his paperwork somewhere, they shipped it down to me at the Cape about two things where the VHF radio noises which could be discharges from someplace in space, and the other one were, I thought it was on Neil's flight, these guys reported seeing flashes on a spacecraft at night with their eyes closed. Or no, they didn't know what it was their eyes closed. They noticed them when they were awake at night, the spacecraft was dark, and they thought they were in a spacecraft. But whoever this guy was to know, that's a perfectly known phenomenon. You can get discharge across your eye from gamma rays or something. So they had a bunch of things. Would we close our eyes and face the moon, when we were orbiting it, because it would be more, you'd get less discharges facing the moon than away from it. But you don't have to be anywhere near the moon or anywhere. The first night out, bing, bing. And if you keep your eyes closed and you're awake down there and it's dark and you think about it, when it happens, you can figure out, you can sit down and it's one eye. It's not a discharge that you see in both eyes. You really see it with one eye or the other eye, and you can see what kind it is. We had two kinds. I guess the particle either strikes the eyeball perpendicular or it discharges parallel. And we get either a flash like that or we get a streak. And I feel that I know they either got a flash or a streak. And I, for some reason, got it more with my left eye than my right eye, but I could tell which eye it was when I was concentrating on it. I'm trying to tell you the reason he did it because where he slept was always on the left side of the spacecraft. And that stuff kept twisting across there, and I caught all the right ones in my eye.
Yeah.
I remember laying I split out of
They should have protected you, Dick. They should have picked them all up.
I'm surprised you didn't hear about this because we were asked to specifically experiment with this type of thing. There's 2 pages in the flight plan that allowed us. We didn't bother because we were seeing every now and then. There's a paper set now on this very exact thing. The 2 phenomena that came out of the letter. Buzz and Neil talked about this.
I remember their conversation about it.
Sure. They thought it was something, penetrating the spacecraft. What Pete described is the exact phenomenon that all 3 of us saw. You see a light, just a flash out there, or sometimes there'd be a streak. And I saw them in both eyes, either eye, and I can't remember if there was one that was more predominant than the other. But I agree with Pete, it's a phenomenon that you're not seeing with both eyes. It's not something external to you, it's something that's
Inside.
discharging, coming across with that one eye. Apparently they know that.
Yeah.
It's a completely known phenomenon.
Well, we've been looking for cosmic rays, cosmic ray strikes, heavy particles, heavy nuclei that go through. You know, we started at clear back in Mercury, taking photographs of the retina to see if you could see streaks across the retina and stuff. We never could find any in there, and so we stopped that up early in well, by the end of the.
Your eye is what the fastest healer on your body, and if it's doing anything, you're never going to see it. By the time you get a guy back, the only way you're ever going to see it is if you photograph it right after a particle went by.
Well, probably what it's doing anyway is probably hitting just a single cell, and yeah, that's all it'd have to do. Particularly make this flash, you know, you hit a single cell.
I saw one night, I was looking at the MDT, a handrail up above, and one right along, I don't know where it went, it appeared, you know, right straight along that handrail for about that distance. And I just got to be looking at that, and you could almost see him at will.
That's right, you just lie there and
You close your eyes, you
what a
don't want to see one, you open one eye, and chances are you see it.
You didn't believe it at first. We saw it the first night. And I know that I said, hey, I've been sitting spring-loaded from that, you know, what we heard. I had seen him and got playing and speaking, and they said, remember the mission, you wake up at night and say, well, I think I ought to see something. You can close your eyes, those things become about 1 minute.
Let me ask you one more question about heart. Oh, here.
Were these random distribution of these or did they seem to be fairly horizontal?
Okay, were these things random, or did they all seem to be in one direction? Like, were they always horizontal, or were they at random? They could be at any kind of angle.
But the streaks I saw were mine, the one I saw were horizontal.
I was going to say, that's interesting. Mine, it seemed to me I had the impression that they were always roughly in the same place, and mine were horizontal. The horizontal streaks were always, if I knew where I was looking, it always seemed like the horizontal streak was a little bit above the center. And it always seemed to me it went from right to left, no matter which eye it was in. The discharges were more towards the center, and it would be just like a pinpoint of light went and closed again.
Like somebody was flashing a light at you.
That's right. Generally not too big a light at you. Yeah, it wouldn't fill your eye. Very small eye. You know,
Yeah.
it's just a, I think it's like a camera lens.
Is that about the same for both of you? Is that the same reaction you had, Dick and Al, the way Pete described it?
What's that? Yeah, mine were
Just
right about 30 degrees or horizontal, but they were coming. See, I didn't notice them from the right or left.
That's pretty interesting.
Yeah. But about the same, they seem to appear about the same place. No? Yeah, Pete says
The horizontal ones that I saw were generally above eye level.
Same one, yeah.
was generally high. Now, I don't know, I can't exclude any other, I can't remember, I just don't remember any of them being down on the lower part of the vision.
Well, I you see, Dick's telling you about seeing him with his eyes open and other things that each center his eye on, the lights on the instrument panel. Well, I used to notice them the most when I was down there in that sleeping bag. It was pitch black down there in the hole, and it wouldn't make any difference whether my eyes were open or closed. And I could lay there for, I used to kill time that way, say for a half an hour, and either open them or close them and wait, and sure enough, after a while, you'd get one. And then I'd sit there for a while and say, okay, was it in the left eye or the right eye? It'd take you a while to sort it out. And but you usually figure out which eye it was in. Now you know what you do when you're supposed to be sleeping.
Yeah. There was a comment that